Hey, this is Feeder.
And this is Blatant.
And we are going to be watching Evil Geniuses fight Fnatic.eu today in the defense playoffs.
Sounds like a good match to me, Feeder.
Fnatic went 7-0 in the group stage, so I'm pretty excited to see who gets knocked out here today.
Same here, Feeder, same here. EG, of course, a popular and well-known North American team, so we'll see how they're doing here.
All right, let's get right over there starting the picks and bans and take a look at what's going on. Let me just adjust the cam. I think it's pointing a little too far down, so you can see our faces a little better as we go over here.
All right, first ban for Evil Geniuses, Keeper of the Light. Of course, Keeper of the Light, a much beloved and much hated hero, both in the
I'm gonna go with much hated there, Blake.
Both in the pro and amateur scene because of his chakra magic, which basically allows somebody who has a high mana burn or high mana usage to basically get free mana from Keeper. And of course, Keeper can give himself free mana, so it's the gift that keeps on giving. And of course, Illuminate, very strong channeled ability that sends those flying ponies across the screen to do damage to all of the enemy heroes. Very strong positional tool, really, because Keeper of the Light says, you're not gonna want to be in these parts here.
Yeah. If you were thinking of getting some last hits, yeah, no, you're not gonna do that.
Fnatic doing a also very typical ban, Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin is one of the strongest support heroes in the game generally, at least certainly at this point in the metagame, and it has mostly to do with the fact that he just has a fantastic stun.
He's got a wicked stun, and he comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. He
goes freaking invisible and then stuns you.
Yeah, it's very similar functionally to Lion Stun, except that Lion Stun is on a fragile little guy who has one nuke and basically nothing else, whereas Nyx's is on a combo hero who will then mana burn you so that you're gonna die, and also come out of invisibility with a bonus damage attack. And also,
and then he pops on his armor and he's like, "Fuck you! I mean, you're not gonna
counter hit me, and if you counter hit me, you'll be stunned, and I'll just finish you off."
Yeah.
Next ban for EG, Darkseer, a very common hero to ban or to pick. So again, all three of these bans are fairly conventional bans so far. Darkseer,
I'd like to note that Darkseer and Keeper sort of perform similar pushing functions later in the game. They both have a lot of push, and a lot of farm ability, actually. They have the ability to turn a creep wave into money very quickly.
Right, so EG's kind of cutting down on Fnatic's ability to pick very strong early game pushers, or at least strong early game pushers that are still favored in the pro scene. Just a little refresh on Darkseer, of course, he's the hero who puts an ion shell on himself or other heroes, which does lots of small AoE damage to everything around them. And Surges gives the ability to just run at maximum movement speed for several seconds, which can be used to escape or chase.
Up onto a ledge or into somebody else's AoE, which sucks.
Right, or into his own very, very, very annoying wall of replica, which spawns illusions of you that attack you. And then at higher levels, those illusions actually do more damage than you do, which can be pretty terrifying.
You've all seen it.
Next ban on Fnatic, Batrider. Batrider, one of the more popular initiators in the pro scene, because that lasso is just a wonderful way to pick somebody off and then suddenly turn a good team fight into a bad team fight where someone like Enigma gets pulled away and doesn't get to do the black hole where he wants to. Also with Sticky Napalm, very strong at positioning heroes, basically making other heroes very badly positioned because it slows down your movement and turn speed.
He's an early game monster, big ganker as well. So
correct.
Good to get
some early picks here. EG starts out with Undying. Undying is basically the sign that they're going to run an aggressive lane somewhere. Undying absolutely excels with Decay and Tombstone and Soul Rip. He just absolutely excels at making heroes very unhappy in a lane.
His Strength Steal, giving strength to him and taking it away from you, Decay, will make it very easy for someone else who can harass to basically take someone out when they're at their reduced hit points.
Right.
Especially at the early game when people aren't having very many hit points to begin.
Yeah, and 2 hits of Decay is basically minus 100 hit points for quite a while, and plus around 100 hit points to Undying. When you have a squishy support hero who has maybe 450 to 550 hit points in the early game, giving 100 of those away to Undying means that they're very vulnerable to ganks and early team fights. Fnatic has meanwhile done their first 2 picks, Magnus and Gyrocopter. Magnus, of course, is a very popular hero to pick or ban, and again, it's very positional. One thing that you'll notice, which is a consistent difference between pro pro level play and amateur level play in Dota is the importance of heroes who have positional abilities or positional plays.
Speaking of positional heroes.
Well, yeah, we'll get to Wisp in a moment. But Magnus's particular positional abilities are reverse polarity, which of course vacuums everybody into him. So I mean, it's like a vacuum on Darkseer, but
setup.
it also has a stun built in, which is incredibly obnoxious. Skewer, which allows him to basically push enemies along a line.
Which he can do, by the way, after he's sucked them in with reverse polarity.
Or
so he can
backwards.
Suck everybody in and then just put them where the team wants them.
Or he can, skewer people in a line into a little clump and then suck them in. He also has
sucks, is what it is.
He also has Empower, which gives a ally cleave damage, which is a wonderful thing. It's like a free Battle Fury, and extra damage, so it really is like giving somebody a Battle Fury for free for several seconds. And Shockwave, which is a nice strong linear nuke. And of course the linear nuke works a lot better when you've lined everybody up with a Skewer or reverse polarity, so you're hitting all of them.
Yep.
Gyrocopter, one of everybody's favorite agi carries or semi carries. He could be played as the number 1 or the number 2, more likely to be the number 2.
We've seen him as a support here, actually.
We've
seen him as a support many times in these defense, farming the jungle up with other support and then a tri-lane. Very good for coming in and getting that carry fed. So
right.
I'm expecting we'll see him as a support, actually.
Now, on EG's part, Wisp and Sven. Wisp, just the king of positional heroes. The Spirit's basically a very strong nuke that has a very obnoxiously long range and is very hard, if not impossible, to dodge when played by a well-played Wisp. So he basically punishes you for staying in a lane or staying in a team fight too long when you're injured. So again, is a positional thing. Of course, Wisp's ulti, which allows him to teleport, is a very, very strong positional thing. Basically saying, no matter where you are on the map, if Wisp can see you and has a carry to bring by or a strong ganker or nuker, you can just be killed at will, because Wisp will just drop somebody in, they'll kill you, and they'll be like, ah, we're teleporting back out.
Yep.
Sven, of course, everybody's favorite, really boring but really effective tank carry.
He's not boring.
He's pretty boring. He does nothing but farm and kill things. He
throws
a stun. He throws a stun and then he goes in and he's like, "Oh, I have a built-in Battle Fury. Chop, 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 chop."
But
super
it feels
tedious.
So good to swing that sword.
Maybe it does, but that doesn't mean it's not boring to watch. All right, and third pick from Fnatic, Enigma. Of course, Enigma. Again, this is all about positioning heroes. Enigma.
This is just disgusting.
Enigma's most famous and well-known ability is, of course, Black Hole, where he sits there and goes, and everybody just has to sit there and get drawn towards the center of the black hole.
It does damage, too.
One combination here that's a very obvious combination that EG is going to be saying, yeah, we know where this is going, is the Magnus Enigma combination. Magnus has the ability to pull...
And Gyro's ult, too.
And Gyro's is just like, whipped cream on top of the ice cream sundae.
It has a slow and damage.
But the point is, the usual combo with Magnus and Enigma, which doesn't have to have Gyrocopter as part of it, is basically that Magnus gets everybody in an area and then Enigma just keeps them there. Right? So, for example, Magnus will skewer and then do reverse polarity, and then there's all these enemies in a tight little clump, and then Enigma says, "Oh, you guys are all in a tight little clump. Why don't you stay in a tight little clump?"
When they pick their carry, he'll empower the carry. And they'll just cleave through everybody.
Right, and of course, depending on the timing of it, that carry can have up to like 6 or 7 seconds of uninterrupted cleaving between the reverse polarity stun and the black hole, which, I mean, is just ridiculous. And of course, Gyrocopter, if he times it right, the combination could be Magnus skewers people, reverse polarities, Enigma black holes. By the time the black hole is finishing, the Gyrocopter call down happens, and then there's like all this damage and slow.
Madness will ensue.
So
I just want to take a quick look at the bans, because I think they're kind of weird, I've got to say. It looks to me like Evil Geniuses has their carry already, and we're seeing a Faceless Void ban from Fnatic. I think maybe because it could put a stop to the combination we were just talking about.
10 seconds.
Also banning mid gankers, which they still need, and Rubik, which would just be a very nice pick.
Yeah, Rubik is a good ban because he can steal Magnus's abilities and Gyrocopter's abilities and Enigma's. All three are very strong casters, basically. So Rubik is always a strong counter to heroes that are very strong casters. Like Sven's not much of a caster. Wisp isn't too much of a caster.
I'm wondering, are we going to see a PA pick from Evil Geniuses? Look what they're banning. Leshrac, which has that extra AoE. I guess that would go with what they have so far. But also an Earthshaker, which strikes me as a little odd given the current...
Indeed. I think we could also see a Phantom Lancer. I wouldn't be too surprised.
Oh, Phantom Lancer. I'm sorry, that's what I meant.
Yes.
Whoops.
Also, Leshrac, a strong pusher. Earthshaker, quite an effective lane clearer.
That's true.
So, anyway, 2 more picks. Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon is, I think up there was Wisp and Darkseer is basically the 3 most popular pro supports. Maybe Enigma is up there too, but
he has
I
the
mean,
distinction of never, ever being played effectively at the level that we play at.
Right, but Shadow Demon's incredibly powerful. The Purge basically allows you to debuff and basically screw over a carry who has all kinds of nice effects on him. So, for instance, if somebody had been empowered by Magnus, that's a good time to purge them. Disruption, of course, creates illusions of a hero, which means if your carry is stronger, you just make illusions of him and use them to beat up. And if their carry is stronger, you make illusions of him to beat up.
Wow, that's a lot of stun on
And, of
EG.
course, the poisons. EG has Beastmaster, of course, whose ulti, the Roar, is just incredibly strong. The Axes is a decent nuke, and, of course, his little animals to
We'll clear the trees and stuff, too.
go around. Tidehunter, of course, giving them really the only AoE stun that they have. And one of their strongest positional heroes. He's also going to be a panic button. If
Beastmaster's roar stuns as well.
Beastmaster,
technically
Beastmaster's, yeah, Beastmaster's roars AoE. You're right. So they really have 2 AoEs, and of course, Beastmasters have to be in the correct position. But Tidehunter's Ravage can be kind of a panic button. If they've been caught by Magnus, but Enigma hasn't quite pulled it off, or they got caught by Gyrocopter, but Enigma's coming, or whatever,
I think
they
you
can
were
do that.
right,
They can
by the
also do
way,
it offensively.
I think you were right, Blatant, about Gyrocopter being played as the carry here.
Indeed, I think he will be.
So, looks like we have our lineups in there picking their heroes. I'm going to switch over where our video is showing up.
Right, one quick thing, though, that we haven't mentioned is the Lina pick on Fnatic. We haven't seen a Lina in a pro game in a long, long, long time. But it's an interesting and fascinating pick. Lina is such a popular hero to play. She's so easy. She's very intuitive. I happen to have a fondness for Lina, of course.
You have a soft spot. You have a soft
Hot
spot.
redheads, you know.
Seriously,
Kind of my
dude?
thing.
Seriously. Alright, Fly, by the way, is taking Lina. I'm just going to go over the Radiant side. I'll let you do the Dire. We have no tail on Magnus, who in fact does not have a tail, as you will see. No tail. We've got someone that I can't read because he's running too fast. Henry 4, is this right? H4N1. H4N1 is playing the Shadow Demon. We have
Era as Gyrocopter.
Trixie on... What the hell? They're changing their goddamn names on me. Trixie on Enigma and Era on Gyrocopter. That is not cool.
And Waf and Lina. We can check Lina to make sure that that's the right name.
Where?
Sorry, Lina's blue.
Fly. That's Fly. That's
Okay.
Fly. She's pretty fly. Oh shit. Uh-oh.
Now we might have a little bit of a confrontation. We've got Tidehunter. It is going to be the real 5v5.
We're looking at 5v5 here, Blatant. Oh my god. This is
I'm gonna
the
give
way
this,
to start
I'm
this
gonna
game.
give this to EG if they get it right, because that decay is gonna really do an immense AoE.
Disruption on Sven there. Oh my god, I can't believe we're starting off with this. This is awesome.
They've caught Gyrocopter out of position,
no!
and Gyrocopter goes down for first blood.
Beastmaster picking that up. Oh my god. EG, no. What were you guys? Oh, I'm sorry, no. EG, yay! Fnatic, no. What were you guys doing?
And a double damage rune. That's really gonna hopefully discourage follow through once they realize
Beastmaster, by
it.
the way, already got something on his weird looking little demon-y courier. Picked up a bottle with that first blood. Very nice. That'll start him off to a great first mid lane there against Magnus, by the way. Just since we saw this lovely courier who will be carrying the items for Fnatic, who you haven't even... for EG. God, let me get the sides of this right. We haven't even introduced yet, and I'll let you do that in a second. And Skip the Delivery Frog will be carrying Fnatic's.
Alright, so Melk is playing Undying. 007 is Wisp, and that's really quite a good name for a
007?
A Wisp.
That's J.O.
J.O., who is kind of a 007 with Wisp, by the way.
Oh my god,
I don't know why
J.O.'s
they're really messing with the things. J.O.'s, of course, everybody.
I'm
a
such
really
a
well-known and huge Wisp player. He's probably the best Wisp player in the world. And yeah, basically. But 007 is kind of a funny name for it, because if you are a good Wisp, you basically are the secret agent who sneaks behind enemy lines, scores the assassination kill, and then slinks back silently.
He ports you in, by the way, for ganks. He's like, I don't care if you want to gank or not. You're coming with me, and you're gonna get some money out of
Right.
this.
Fear playing Sven. Demon playing Beastmaster, and B-Diz playing Tidehunter.
B-Diz farming, by the way. Tidehunter is a surprisingly good jungler, and he doesn't have the skill that makes him a good jungler, in my opinion.
Anchor
the
Smash.
Anchor Smash reduces damage by 40%,
I mean,
which makes you very capable of jungling like a tank.
By the way, that's a really, really smoothly, well pulled off pull. Notice he's staying within experience range, and he's doing the double pull here. This lane had been stacked, and then he pulled it, and then...
Yep, he's...
oh, not quite. I think he wanted those...
He's doing his stuff. Look, we've got... just a disruption. Nothing too exciting. And Undying's going to pick up the regen. Beastmaster's like, dude, I have a bottle, but it's Shadow Demon sort of forcing that pickup of the rune there, so... Too bad for Beastmaster.
So let's take a look at the way these lanes seem to be shaking up. On EG's side, they're running a tri-lane. Jo and Fear. Fear basically doing the free farm as Sven. Along with B-Diz doing the jungling. Of course, they might want an early Blink Dagger on Tidehunter, which is why they're letting him farm all of the jungle creeps without any real interruption, and that makes a lot of sense. Tidehunter, while he's mostly level dependent, you really need that Ravage and a few levels of Anchor Smash. The thing is, with Blink, he becomes a really strong initiator, and they don't have a great amount of initiation besides possibly Sven doing Warcry, running up and throwing his stun, as everybody loves. But
yeah.
on Fnatic's current...
Wisp has a stun, too.
And Wisp, but on Fnatic's current lineup, that's not really enough initiation, so they really do want the Blink Dagger on Tidehunter, I think. In the mid lane...
Yep, let's take a look there.
We have Magnus and Beast Hunter basically just going back and forth, trading in the lane. I mean, these are both pretty decent mid-heroes. They're both level dependent. You really want Magnus to have reverse polarity. You really want Beastmaster to have his roar. So they're going to sit there. They're not really going to do a ton of harassment to each other because neither of them wants to overcommit. And of course, in pro games...
Slow down here a second, Blatant. It looks like they're running a dual lane in the mid. Shadow Demon is kind of hanging around here. He is in experience range.
Right.
So that's going to keep him and Magnus at lower levels of experience.
Right, but what I was going to say...
By the way, the top tower's getting
attacked
a little bit, so...
A little bit of push. Oh, and there's a stun.
On creeps.
On creeps. That's a little weird. Maybe Fear knew that Jo is going to give him some mana or something, or he's just confident
Shadow
that...
Demon is coming in to, just to harass it.
And there's a little bit of harass there. I think they're going to take that tower.
Just a little bit of rune contesting. Yep, they're just going to blast that down.
Now,
no worries.
What I was about to say is it was a little peculiar for EG to be running a proper tri-lane since nobody from Fnatic was really contesting the lane. But since nobody was contesting the lane, it makes a lot of sense for them to convert this tri-lane into a straight-out push. Now they're basically saying to Fnatic, look, if you don't put anybody in the top lane, the three of us can knock down a tower before the 5-minute mark, and they can rinse and repeat. Nothing prevents them from doing it again. So now Fnatic is going to be forced to pull Shadow Demon over there, even just to offer token resistance to say, you know, we're not going to let the tower go down without a fight, not the second tier. And we have smoke for a gank.
We're going for a gank mid, ganking with the carry. Sort of unusual. Sort of unusual, but that stun's going to be very useful. And here we have
boom,
the
here it is, the stun on Magnus.
Magnus is not going to last 2 seconds.
Boom. Shadow Demon ports in, but he's far too late.
So notice, Beastmaster had that stun from his roar, which he just hit level 6. Wisp stuns with the tether, and Sven stuns with the Stormhammer, and it's like just too much stun. Yep. Magnus couldn't even do anything.
Magnus is locked. Anyway, in the bottom lane, you have Gyrocopter and Lina basically both farming against an Undying. And notice that the way they're playing Undying is backwards. Instead of using him as a strong lane harass, they're using him as a solo. And the only way that anybody could really last against a Lina and a Gyrocopter, both of whom have a lot of nuke and stun, is the fact that he basically can decay them, sap their strength, and artificially augment the amount of hit points he has. But even so, this lane eventually is going to get pushed. Between Lina and Gyro, especially when they have a Basilius on Gyro and they're regenning mana at a fairly decent rate, they're just going to be able to push this.
If they want to, Blatant. I'm not so sure that they're...
I think at some point we're going to see a push on that, if only to be a trade for the top tower that they've already lost. I just can't imagine that Fnatic doesn't want to take a tier 1 tower and wants to leave several hundred gold worth of elite. Disruption on Milk. Milk is caught out of position. He was too aggressive trying to
pick him off.
Too aggressive trying to pick up that rune, and you really couldn't afford to. You know that Lina is around. Lina could have done the exact same thing that Shadow Demon had done there. So a little ballsy on Milk's part, and I think it was a bad trade. His job soloing against Gyro and Lina is to basically stay alive, and that was taking a risk he didn't have to take. Meanwhile, Enigma is just calmly, patiently jungling, and that's okay because nobody's really going to interrupt him so far. Of course, we could see ganks coming in, but they have the ward. The ward right here, which basically is going to tell them if there's movement coming in to the jungle.
That, of course, will not detect smoked units, but that's just... There's not much you can do
and
about
if you notice, Beastmaster just dropped...
Very offensive ward there.
It is very offensive, and of course, if it had been 1 micron closer, the tower would smack it down, or Magnus would smack it down. Really, the tower, though, would do it because he'd just not care, knowing that the tower's going to hit it.
To note, let's just check the levels here.
Oh,
At some point...
There's been an extra ward. They're right next to each other. You see them flickering?
Oh, yeah. Very popular.
Everybody likes that spot.
Yep. Very nice dire wards here with a little skull on them. That's cute. This tower is getting pushed now, by the way. Gyrocopter and Lina coming in and putting some damage on that.
And of course, Undying has to keep his distance because both Lina and Gyro have stuns. So if he gets caught badly between those 2 nukes, they will take him, and there's no question asked. As long as Lina can land her stun, that's gonna go down.
Yep. And it looks like they're going to really push this tower in. They've got these smoked Magnus and Shadow Demon coming in from behind, so they might score a kill here too on this Undying. He might smell something's up.
Yeah.
As they're calling missing on the other...
Melk said, yeah, I can see where this is happening. He'll knock down the tower, then suddenly I won't have any protection.
Look at this Beastmaster way out of position, going for the rune, and I think this could be
Fnatic just says, okay, we couldn't take you.
We'll take it. They stick him up on this hill. He's going to try to TP out, and I think Magnus will interrupt
beautiful.
that. Very nice.
I think Enigma may have black hole there. Check that. I think that was the stun that.
I don't want to.
Oh no, just check his cooldown.
Oh, right.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Oh, but he did do.
Magnus reverse polarity up there to pull him out of the.
I think there was a disruption too because it just came off cooldown right when we looked.
Yeah,
not disruption, whatever that Maleficence, yeah.
Whatever.
Malefice.
Malefice is all it is. Why do people call it something else?
Because that is a terrible name for an ability, frankly.
Okay. Also, why can't I
super awkward
say anything
word.
today? I haven't had enough caffeine.
Well, drink.
I'm working on it.
We are not sponsored by but love Mountain Dew. Choice of gamers everywhere.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. It's green and it has caffeine in it.
Anyway, as we noticed, though, notice that this game is, again, shaping to a bit of an equilibrium. Fnatic really could have just taken being behind by gold to EG that much, so really this push had to happen at some point, and so it's pretty natural that it did happen. And now you see a lot of free farming. Gyrocopter's basically free farming here. Sven is free farming in the top lane, pulling back every time he sees a little bit of resistance.
Sven has his drum up, he's got his treads. Doesn't have much other money right now, but I guess it's only 9.5 minutes in, so we can't really complain about that.
Treads and drum is like 3k worth of stuff. It's pretty decent farming.
He's doing fine. I didn't think otherwise, I just...
Tide Hunter got his boots. He's buying wards.
Tide Hunter doing? He's definitely going support here. Farming the jungle as the supports usually do. And the Shadow Demon's been keeping rune control. I think that's basically all he's been doing, besides some ganking, which is keeping his levels up. Looks like they might be hungry for another tower. Both EG sort of coming up and gathering here. I guess that's just Wisp and Sven, really. But we have Enigma, Gyro, and Lina. Looks like we're
Enigma's porting to the mid. Oh
shit!
There's a skewer, and the skewer tries to come back, but Wisp and Sven catch him.
And this is why Wisp is so scary. Look at that. They just ported in, killed him, and ported back out. Totally safe. And that sucks for Magnus. He's dead.
And I have to say, the Magnus had a good reaction time. That skewer back towards his own tower was pretty fast, but not fast enough.
Yeah, and who picked up, did Wisp pick up the kill on that, I think? Yeah.
I think Wisp got the
he actually hit with the spirits, which as Blatant was saying when we were looking over the heroes, if they're being microed by a good Wisp player, basically
it's 500 points
impossible
worth of
to
nuke.
escape from.
Up to 500 points of nuke.
And Magnus is back.
Minus magic resistance, of course.
Well, yeah. And we're seeing the tower getting a little bit pushed here. How's Undying doing for levels? Only level 7. Been killed a couple times, even though he's solo laning. He hasn't got that much.
Oh, the stun on Shadow Demon. Are they going to chase?
Did you see
No,
him
we see
himself out of that?
Yeah, we see a town port, and now Lina and Shadow
they're
Demon
coming
and
in.
Gyro.
The
They're
tether
going to try to
breaks.
get the kill, but oh, that was a beautiful tether by Jo to Sphere. Oh, but Magnus cuts
gonna
off the
trap him.
tether, and I think
Tether's
Wisp
on
is going to
cooldown.
die.
Tether's on cooldown.
Even if it wasn't, he had just been cut off, and Shadow Demon was continuing to run. Sorry, Sven was continuing to run.
The
now
tether
there's
actually will go pretty far.
that was, but it was at a diagonal pretty far away
can
when
also
Magnus
get
cut him
creeps.
off. It was a really good skewer by Magnus because it cut him basically a perfect distance away. Now there's a bit of a push.
Tidehunter is getting
There's a
ready.
question as to whether EG is going to port
They've
there. Oh
seen
no,
him.
and they
They've
see
seen
him,
him.
and that's a problem they must have expected. They're like, Tidehunter's got to be around here somewhere. They're going to start a team fight. Now the real question
Here
is,
he goes,
there's the
Ravage.
Ravage.
There's the Ravage.
There's the stun.
Is it
They
in time?
were able to
Beastmaster
cut off
will
Shadow
go down.
Demon.
Look at this, Gyrocopter trying to ult here. Oh no, Wisp. Wisp, you can make it. You can make it, dude. You can make it.
Oh, and the last hit finished off. Now we're going to see Enigma. Enigma's going to try to finish Tide, but Tide anchor smashes,
No.
and that's not good enough. And
Look at this.
that's an
Fnatic
almost wipe
wiped.
by Fnatic.
Gyrocopter is just gonna slink off here, and he will pour it out. Definitely going to carry. Looks like he's working on a BKB there, and he's got his treads up. He's gonna go farm mid. That was very nicely done. Losing the
Good
Wisp,
defense by EG.
but you always lose the Wisp, people.
If the
So
Wisp
that-
is playing right, he's going to go down.
He's gonna die, and just has to get off as many stuns as he can before he does.
Now you might think if you're the only person who keeps dying, you're the feeder, and no, that's really not true. Wisp played right. The entire point of Wisp is that you should be the only person on your team dying. You should be tethering, mechanisming, healing people, arcane boots, stun this guy, warp this guy in and out.
Yep.
Basically, your job is to be a total fucking nuisance so that nobody can land a kill.
Well, when you say nobody, you mean
On the
nobody
opposite
on
team.
the other team.
Absolutely.
Just, making sure that's clear for our
Alright,
viewers.
Fnatic's gonna try to cut
We've
off
got
here.
smoke.
They've got smoke, and the
No,
smoke.
this isn't smoke. This is
Oh,
invisibility.
this is actual
I
invisibility.
was
Of course,
like, wait a
smoke
second,
would have worn
smoke
off.
would be
And there's the
wearing
call
off.
down, and they've
Oh
got
my
him.
God.
They've got him.
He's so dead. But look at
Malefice,
this.
and now
Radiant
Undying
and
comes in
Tidehunter.
for the defense. Maybe they'll get him too. They're trying to push. Tidehunter with an anchor smash, and there's the
Someone's getting
homing
stunned.
missile.
Someone's
That homing
getting
missile's
stunned.
got to be going for
Come
a
on,
dying.
beat
They're
that
gonna try
down,
to.
beat
They're
that.
gonna have
They
plenty
got
of time
that.
to
They've
beat it
got
down.
plenty of
25
people
gold for it. I didn't know that it actually gives you a nice little
Yeah, might
half
as
a
well.
creep.
Might as well kill that. I think they're gonna back off here. It looks like we might have a team fight.
I don't think they're
Fnatic's
gonna
wanting to push.
back off. I think they want the push. They're just maybe not ready to do a
They
tower
wanna
dive
push
chase.
this. I don't know.
Now Magnus is patrolling. Of
We've
course,
got
the thing about
Beastmaster waiting
Magnus is
here.
that if he catches somebody over there, he can skewer them back into the team fight, and they can set it up.
Under the
he
tower,
does,
though,
he
that
does,
could be dangerous.
It could be dangerous, but there are plenty of Eidolons aggroing the tower. There's plenty of creeps aggroing the tower, so I don't think it's as dangerous as this thing. Sets up a little AoE thing. I forget what
comes
that's
Mal.
called for.
Leading in with the Undying.
Basically makes that area painful to stand in with HP removal. The axes come through the trees,
Magnus
trying
is going out
skewer.
here.
There's the reverse
He's
polarity.
only
He
catching
traps Tidehunter. The call down. Oh, Tidehunter
get his ult
manages
off.
to get his
But
Ravage
there's
off
just not
before he
enough going
dies.
on here. They are
But
chasing Shadow Demon, and meanwhile over here,
Fnatic has caught Melk. Melk, however, is
looks like
draining
Lina
them.
went down, and
And-
Shadow Demon as well.
Part of why Undying is so hard to finish off. If there's a group of heroes there, he just suctions so much HP out of them into himself in the form of just pure
Sven has
strength.
shown up. Wisp is here.
Wisp
getting
is
the hits
gonna
on Enigma, but he's not going to be able to make it. Look at this. And he will go
Fnatic
down.
scores kills on Undying and Wisp, and I think Fnatic just turned it back around, and they have pushed a second-tier tower. So far, even though the kill score is equal, Fnatic is got the gold and pushing advantage. Let's take a look at the gold.
Let's take a look at the gold. I was just thinking about that.
Yep.
Definitely Radiant swung up.
That
You
fight.
see, it almost came to even after that last team fight, but it looks like back down, and their XP has gone up more too. Let's take a look actually about the distribution of that. I'd like to see the net worths. Gyrocopter A little more net
And
worth
boom,
than Sven.
Fnatic takes the middle tower. The middle tower was already ready to go down, but boom.
They're getting a lot of push in here, Blatant. I think,
And I think they're doing a good job of capitalizing this early money straight into pushing power.
I would have to agree there. I would note that I think their team has a lot less carry than EG.
Oh,
so
the
if this
smoke.
gets to late game, that could be a problem for Fnatic.
The smoke, I think they're trying to catch somebody in the jungle. They would love to catch somebody in the jungle. If
Well,
they catch somebody in the
Beastmaster
jungle...
is out there, but I think he just figured out that something might be up and got himself out of there. Will he go back in?
Oh, he
Very
catches
nice.
them farming. That was beautiful.
He gets those creeps for himself before going back to heal. And that is something you only see at this level of play. They are going to push this top tower too now, by the way. That's going to go
Another
down.
tier 1.
Meanwhile,
EG is, of
Wisp
course,
and
going to
Sven
respond by
pushing-
trying to
pushing here.
push the tier 1 tower.
Or is Sven just farming? He might just be farming.
I think a little bit of both, Peter.
Yep, here we go. Here's the push going there. And meanwhile, Fnatic pushing top. Let's take a look at this.
This
getting
doesn't
ready
really
to
look
push
like a
top.
good trade for EG. Taking a tier 1 tower, even if they take it from start to finish, or a tower that hadn't taken any aggro,
Sven does
they're
get the
surrendering a
lesson.
tier 2 tower. A second tier 2 tower. They
I
still
don't
haven't
know that
taken
they're
a single tier 2.
surrendering that. They do have a chance to come in here. I think they might take
maybe
it.
maybe they'll port in with Wisp, but
Nope.
I think they just surrendered
They're
it.
just letting it go. Meanwhile, Sven and Wisp out here just continuing to walk up
EG
with
has
these
such
creeps.
great team fight potential. I don't really know why they're not doing the fight. Maybe they're just scared of getting caught by Enigma's Black Hole or Magnus's Reverse Polarity, but they already knew this coming into the pick stage. Coming off the pick stage. Anyway, Fnatic decides not to push their luck at the base tower. Figures, look, we haven't seen EG's response, but EG at some point has to show up here, so they're going to instead turn around and defend their tier 2. Fear and Jo
Send
pull
out.
out. Kind of disappointing play from EG. We really need to see some tower defense here. I don't know what they're playing at, but they've now lost all of their tier 1 and tier 2 towers except the tier 2 mid. That's a
I would
ton of
say
money
that,
advantage
Blatant,
going
that
into
they
Fnatic.
do have this. I think they've got Fnatic on the late game, and what we're seeing is the early game strength of the heroes picked by Fnatic could be balanced out by Sven in the late game.
I'd also, though, be a little leery if I were EG of letting Lina, who normally doesn't have much carry potential,
We are
get
gonna
a
see
ton of
something
money.
here later.
Lina can become a very strong teamfight hero if she's allowed to farm effectively without getting ganked, and she basically has been. They've been getting towers, they've been getting kills. And of course, Gyro is a top-rate carry, especially with the flat cannon where he can basically do multi-attacks. It's like a
I
version
think
of
a Wisp
Medusa's.
and Sven will out carry the Gyro. Honestly,
I think so, but they may not have enough time in the game to do it.
I'd just like to
And that's
note,
my
by the way,
fear.
that this very nice ward right here basically caught the entire Fnatic team sort of swinging in on them as they were down there, and nice warding. Got out of there long before anything could happen. Honestly, I thought we might see a big nasty team fight. Are
One
you thinking about Roshan?
Yeah, one curious thing, I was about to talk about Roshan, so I'm glad to see that Fnatic is thinking about it too. It's that point in the game where everybody starts thinking about Roshan. The most dangerous thing about Roshan for Fnatic is that EG, between Wisp and Sven and Tidehunter with a Blink Dagger, they can be caught very nastily. Fnatic has the ability to push all of EG's heroes into a tight little ball. We already talked about it. That's Magnus. That's Enigma. But the problem is, if they're Roshing, some of their heroes are going to be already in a tight little ball attacking Rosh. And EG can basically drop Tidehunter, do a Ravage, do a Roar, drop Sven with his Cleave, and Wisp doing Spirits. And all of a sudden, that can turn into a really bad team fight for Fnatic. So I imagine that Fnatic wants Rosh. They think they can take Rosh. But the problem is they have to do it completely undetected without any guesswork from EG. And if they do it wrong, they can lose a very bad team fight and give up Rosh.
Anyway, let's take a little look at the items right now.
Yeah,
Gyrocopter's got a lot of money.
Feeder, yeah. That's a ton of gold on Gyro. I wonder what he's building
He's
towards.
got his PKB here, he's got his Ring of Aquila, and I think...
Normally 3,500 gold, and you start thinking, is somebody building a Radiance? Are they going straight for a Sacred Relic? Because that's an unhealthy amount of money to be holding on to.
And Sven, meanwhile, not as much in reserve. He does have his drum up as well as BKB and treads, so I don't know, Blatant. I think he's looking pretty good. I don't think EG is out of this in any sense.
Not by a long shot. I'm just questioning the wisdom of letting Fnatic hold on to a gold advantage for this long. a gold advantage means an equipment advantage, and an equipment advantage means a team fight advantage. Ultimately, gold translates into power in this game.
We're gonna see the mid tower push, I think. Here we go.
EG,
The last,
I think EG knows they have
tower.
to defend this, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the Wisp Sven pair porting in. And it looks like the other three are basically set up in position, so do not be surprised if...
Let's keep our eyes on Tidehunter here. I can actually center him.
Tide's got the Ravage, so he's really going to be the initiation. At some point, we're going to see him, you know, you're going to see a
That's got to be soon if it's going to be happening.
And where's the port? Where's the port? Where Wisp and Sven? They didn't come in.
Oh my god.
Undying just got picked off. There they are now. They've tried to pick off Magnus. They picked off Magnus.
They look at this stun.
The tether stun on Lina. Are they going to be able to take Lina? No. Sven is picking a different target.
And they're going to port back out.
And that was poorly timed.
I'm not sure what was happening.
Undying got picked off before Tidehunter got his ulti. They came in from behind. I can see the strategic advantage of trying to pick off Lina and the other folks from behind. Beastmaster denied himself into a stack of very stacked Ancients, but this is tragic for EG. They've taken some work to stack those Ancients, and now Fnatic says, we're going to take it. They might have been thinking about Roche, but I think the Ancients are a safer farming thing. It's a lot of gold. It doesn't give them the Aegis, but it gives them a lot of money that would otherwise really be EG's to claim whatever they want.
I don't think that's an and blatant, or I don't think that's an or blatant. I think it's an and. I think they're going to take the Ancients and they're going to get Roshan here.
Well, this is bold.
It is
but
bold.
I think it's going to work. Let's see though. I think Beastmaster being gone also removes a lot of the AoE stun worries that they have.
They do know they're there. We do have Tidehunter here setting up, but he does not have ulti, so his effectiveness is pretty limited, I would say, in terms of dealing with this.
Yeah, he can basically go in and anchor smash them, and that's about the limit of it.
That's suicide.
That's suicide. I mean, if the rest of the entire team fight was
scouting. They are scouting. They know this is coming. Look at this. We're going to see a fight for Roshan. Here comes Tidehunter. Oh my god, Lina nuke. Oh shit, Undying went down like nothing.
Sven takes Lina and Shadow Demon.
They are getting Gyro and Shadow Demon.
Oh
my god, EG turning this around. They're going to take Roshan here. Beautiful.
And this is where Sven gets really scary.
Oh my god, that was beautiful.
Sven with Mask of Madness. The classic build on Sven. I almost want to say the classic pub build on Sven because it's what you see in pub games, but it's just a very effective build on Sven.
The pub players are probably watching this.
Yeah, I don't think the Mask of Madness is going to scale up all the way to the end for Sven. It scales decently to mid to late game, but maybe Fear is just figuring, look, if we don't get a couple of good team fights in us, this game is just going to roll for us. So picks up the Mask of Madness, and you can see it being effective as he just clove through everyone.
Incredible, blatant. And look at this, Beastmaster's got his Aghanims up. I'm sure that helped a bit. That Roar key in stunning,
and let's take a look at net worth. That should have swung a little bit in EG's favor,
are you
I
wanting
think.
to look here?
Oh,
yeah, you can see the dip there, and look at this EXP. Roshan giving
But that's the gold difference I was talking about that EG needed to start being worried about.
Oh, look at Sven. He's getting scary.
Well, he just got those kills. I'm sure Gyrocopter's not too happy about going from definitely
Lincoln's
having
up on Gyro.
And that's where that money was going to.
There we are. That's going to be very nice, actually, I think, on him. It's going to get that Tidehunter ulti. Oh no, that's not targeted. It's only blocking targeted spells. But,
well, it'll block Sven's stun. No,
they really have a lot of stun.
I don't think it's only targeted spells.
I think it's pretty sure.
Most targeted spells.
Most targeted spells. That's why it's not so good for those AoE. So Tidehunters, Beastmaster's Roar, it's not going to do anything about that. If Sven does select Gyrocopter as his target, then that'll be useful. But
interesting. I wonder whether Gyrocopter really should have gone Skadi instead.
I'm not sure. I think this is an interesting choice.
A little bit of extra. The thing about Skadi, though, is the attack slow would be a really good thing to have on Sven.
Yeah, although...
Not to mention, honestly, I think the 25 to all attributes is a lot better than the 15 to all attributes to Linken's. But if it's really only targeted spells, then there's not a ton of targeted spells we're looking at. In fact, it seems like a Linken Sphere would be a better pickup for somebody on EG because that blocks... Lina
or...
That blocks really I would say Shadow Demon.
Or Shadow Demon.
Shadow Demon's spells are pretty much all targeted.
They're pretty irritating.
Enigma's little stun thing, Malefice. Gyrocopter homing missile. That's a really good one to have blocked by Lincoln
I'd
Sphere.
like to block that if I was on. If I was playing for EG here. Let's take a look at what they're doing. By the way, I'm.
The network
curious.
on Gyrocopter. I think we were fooled slightly by the Lincoln Sphere purchase. Gyro is in fact in the lead.
That does. There's always something on the courier, and I wish they would. I wish they would calculate that into the net worth or something.
Yeah, that's a little peculiar that they don't. Of course, there's always the problem of the courier being killed before delivering, and then your net
got
worth
the smoke up. Found the hawk. Smoke is up, and I think.
Of course, they know that they just caught.
Here we come. Enigma getting
Roar
stunned.
Enigma.
Using his ultimate there, and Sven and Wisp are going to come in as well. They might get Shadow Demon out of this.
I think they've got Shadow
Demon. Oh my god, he will disrupt himself, but I don't know what he thinks that's going to do for him. Now, Wisp is going to leave, but Sven is going to be left here to take this tower.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And EG will back up after this.
Jo and Fear, they just know how to do this Wisp-Sven combo, and frankly, I don't think the rest of EG is carrying their weight as much as those two.
Well,
but those two are carrying all the weight, and that's all they have to do.
When you pick a Wisp-Sven combo, you are betting on your carry, because Wisp is really a carry amplification tool. In addition to having its own, contributions in other ways. But
notice Jo hasn't spent more than about 3 seconds away from Sven, and those 3 seconds are nuking.
Well, and honestly, if he sticks with Sven the whole time, Sven is basically able to be anywhere on the map, which I just... Why people don't play Wisp more often than they do always confuses me. Daedalus up on him, by the way, now. It's getting those crits, that lifesteal in, and that super attack speed. When he pops Berserk and he's got the Wisp overpower on him, I would fear the earth. I'd be scared. And just watching him push up a little bit here, sort of gathering on this side of the map. We've got Shadow Demon still over on top, but everyone else seems to be gathering here, so excited to see what's
Demon picks up an illusion room.
What's gonna happen there. Beastmaster looking pretty good right now too. Got his Vlads up. Scepter. Here we go. We're gonna push this tower, I think. I think we're gonna see a push.
Oh no, the port out. We are gonna see a push, but it's gonna be possibly a push on the end.
What's happening here? Wisp and Sven catching
Shadow Demon out of position.
And you
Easy
just
kill.
Can't be alone on the map with this. You just can't be alone. And look, now they're right back to pushing this tower. God, I love Wisp. Jo, you're my hero. Alright, here we go. Bottom tower. I don't know what they can do about this. 4 on 5. Honestly, I don't think they can. They can't really respond to this at all. And EG will just walk away with that. I think Sven is getting to the point where there's nothing that Fnatic can do, honestly.
I think I might agree with you, Theater.
Oh, someone's still there. Oh no, that's just the, I'm being fooled by the mini-map. It's just the illusion. And Roshan, still a little while before we're going to see him back.
Sven aggressively farming those Ancients.
He'll
Notice
farm
that that's
anything.
basically the way that he's recovered the gold lead against Gyrocopter. That and a couple of those teleport ganks with Wisp, but...
Yeah, Gyrocopter, where are you, buddy? Gyro, there you are. Just farming the jungle creeps here.
Ooh, another 3,500 gold, though.
He's making money.
Yeah.
He hasn't been slacking. Honestly, a Gyrocopter by himself versus a Sven and a Wisp, I don't think can scale into the late game.
Well,
But we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Give Fnatic
I think
a chance
Lina's
here.
going to have the ability once they're actually defending the towers, the base towers. I think Lina, and this sounds odd, but I think Lina might be able to pick off Wisp, and that might actually be the right call.
Mm-hmm.
A Laguna Blade, a stun, and the Dragon Slave should pick off Wisp, and that just makes Sven less scary.
A little
If
less scary.
if it's Gyrocopter versus Sven, and they're both equally farmed, I don't think that necessarily goes in Sven's favor.
I do agree that picking off the Wisp will be something they need to absolutely focus on in team fights to make Sven, let's call it, manageable.
Yeah, and again, this is a multi-part problem. It's not over. Is it? Oh, it's not overpower. It's
I think it's overcharge.
Overcharge.
Yeah.
It really should just be called overpower.
I mean,
the overcharge really,
you.
and the tethering for the mana regen. It's all kinds of problems that Wisp is causing for them. In terms of Sven. Sven is a fed carry, but Gyrocopter is also a fed carry, and I mean, this is not necessary. Again,
you know, I haven't looked at the kills and who's been getting them. Gyro 6, 2, and 4. That's
10,
pretty good.
1, and
but look
4
at this.
for Sven. Sven is literally.
He's farming the other team. He's like, screw the creeps. I'm gonna farm the other team. That's gonna give me more.
Now, what is Gyro building with 4,800
invisible.
bucks?
Magnus picked up a gem, by the way, useful for dewarding in this game. You're like, oh my god, why would you want a gem? There's no Riki, there's no bounty hunter. It's because of the wards, guys. Those wards are a really big deal, especially with the Wisp and Sven, because they can be anywhere on the map, and if they know you're alone, you're just screwed. Seeing a pause here from Beastmaster. Looks like EG is having some lags, or Demon on the Beastmaster, seeing a couple lags, so we're gonna see if he can fix that. Meanwhile, let's just take a look overall at the items here. Oh, nice. Undying is building a hood, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Nice pickup for him. I guess all this magic damage, especially Lena has been just eating him for breakfast, so that might help a little bit.
I'm a little surprised that he has the headdress, but isn't going mech.
That headdress does come with some nice regen.
It does give the regen, but...
The regen aura as well.
You know, especially again... Well... Yeah.
It's alright. He might later turn that into a mech, but the headdress could have been useful, especially in the beginning, and I believe that regen goes to his zombies as well? No, not that that would matter. Unless maybe he's I don't know. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Wisp has gone mech, by the way. Standard Wisp build.
Right.
If you're not building a mech at some point on Wisp, either someone else is building it, or you have just been feeding and have no money.
Fear, again, farming the Ancients. That's something we're not seeing. Has Gyro been farming the Ancients as well?
I'm not sure about that.
There was some early stacking, if you recall, that Fnatic stole from them, so maybe that's been discouraging EG from trying to stack
Gyro
them.
farmed their Ancients. I think he's been leaving his own Ancients alone for some reason. Or either that or we haven't been seeing it.
Which is bad, because I think Sven is basically
Sven
building up a slow gold lead on the basis of those Ancients. Those Ancients are pumping, 400 or 500 gold each time in. And the net worth is just switched over again. This is again,
Gyro
courier
must have
issues.
picked up his item. Let's see what that is.
No, he has 500.
5,000
Most of that
gold.
is unreliable gold.
What
if
is
he
he
dies
doing?
in a team fight, he's going to really regret it.
He might want to buy back. He might be saving up to have
That's
buyback.
even more than you need for buyback. You could still buy a big chunk of a pretty good item for buyback.
He's pretty high level at this point. Looking at a little... Oh my god, here comes Wisp and
They're chasing Gyro! Oh no, and the call down is going to miss!
Yep. Oh, but that always happens with call down. They're going to back off now.
No, if he called down in front of himself and then ran through it, I think that would have been a better call. He tried to do it behind to catch them as they were chasing him. If he had done it like where he was or in front of himself, he might have caught them. It's the same way with Lena's stun. A really good technique for Lena, if you want to land a stun and you're being chased, is to stun the exact spot that you're about to be in, like 1 second. Stun a little bit in front of yourself and the path that you're fleeing, and then if they're really right behind you, by the time you hit that spot, boom, the stun happens, and then you actually can get away. What? No, he might...
Is Roshan back up, by the way? Yes,
he is.
That explains what the gathering in this area...
And Enigma sends an Eidolon just to sit there and chill. He's going to be Roshan's best buddy. The cheapest ward money can buy. Notice that Gyro also has a gem, if I remember what I saw.
Magnus has a gem.
Magnus has a gem, but check Gyro.
I don't think Gyro has one. I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
Oh, I think he may have been borrowing it from...
Oh, he's bought something now. Let's see what this is.
For the secret shop? It's the butterfly, straight out.
There's this butterfly. Very nice. Give him a little evasion, make him a little more survivable with Sven around. I hesitate to say that, but...
Evasion will be a big deal against Sven.
Very evasive build in general. BKB, I think, is what saved him with that Sven and Wisp teleporting in just now, giving him the time to get away. No one's able to stun him, and then Lincoln's will kick in as well. And of course the butterfly with
and now, Fnatic?
They're going for it. They have the wards down. Their tower here is going to get pushed in the meantime by Sven. And I believe Wisp is hovering
Survey
nearby.
says yes. I think Jo must be talking to the other team saying, are we going to do the Roshan jump or anything? It's a little peculiar.
Sure. Here we go.
Yeah, it's a little peculiar to see people doing nothing. And that almost always means that they're talking and they're the ones who are coordinating.
Yep.
Jo, look, quick action right there. It looks like Jo is picking up, is tethered to a...
They're waiting for the go-ahead from their team.
I think they're waiting for the go-ahead. But
Hawk is scouting this, by the way, so they know exactly what's going on in the Roshan pit.
They're gonna wait. They're gonna wait until Roshan is really easily picked off.
And Sven and Wisp, meanwhile, can just push the tower.
Sven takes the base tower. Oh, there's the roar. There's the roar. There's the reverse polarity. Then there is. Boom.
Oh my God! Look at this.
And he just tears through Gyrocopter. The rest of the team is just gonna be easier. Enigma, Undying finishes off Lena, but that's small cookies. Sven finishing up the. Oh. And now he has a Basher and 6 grand on top. I think that's probably going to be Abyssal.
This looks like GG.
I think this is GG. The catching them at Roche has been.
Oh, there goes. They just picked off Magnus, who was sort of wandering back. That sucks. And here comes Wisp. He had to go back over here, but he's with the team now.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
God, what a... And that Beastmaster Hawk, able to tell them the exact time that they needed to come in there. And I think that timing is everything there.
I think Fnatic was just a little too sanguine about a couple of these Roches, and the thing is, with Wisp, you just cannot be sanguine that the other team is where you think they are. It takes Wisp one click of his silly little mouse and one ability to pop Sven from wherever he is into the middle of your Roche pit. Fuck shit up.
Yep, and there is a 2-second delay on that, but they, again, with perfect vision of the Roche pit, Wisp can just choose his time and make it perfect. Fnatic is back up except for Magnus, so they are going to defend their mid tower and Rex, but losing the entire... So we're going to see Megas on the top here, and that's just going to be a crippling thing that Fnatic has to deal with this many creeps here for the rest of the game.
Tidehunter on EG finishing the Blink Dagger. This is getting worse and worse for Fnatic. Now not only...
up. Abyssal is up. And that will go through BKB, by the way. I'm not sure if Lincoln's doesn't block abilities, I don't think, from items. I'm not actually sure about that, but I don't think it will block.
I think it might actually, but
goes through magic immunity. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. That's an interaction I would have to look up, and I don't want to miss any of this exciting game.
Naturally not. Oh, Sven has another 4K in the bank.
He's got buyback. He's got... I feel like he might trade in his Mask of Madness for something scarier or something. Maybe, but I think he'll want to keep buyback just in case. I don't think he's scared right now. But
I don't think so either. It's funny though. I think he's become the wrong holder of the Aegis at this point.
Give it to Wisp, right?
No.
I'm just kidding.
I'd say give it to Tidehunter, but Tidehunter with, or actually no, Beastmaster with that roar and the fairly short cooldown and the Aghanims. Beastmaster should hold the next Aegis if there is a next Aegis. If they're not finishing it right now. Sven needs something like an Assault Cuirass, I think. All that armor making him so unkillable. Extra attack speed, the aura. I wouldn't be surprised if this is not over in the next couple of minutes. I think Sven will be picking up an Assault Cuirass.
Looks like we're gonna see them trying maybe to push bottom. I don't know, they're just hanging out down here. Got Beastmaster probably farming the jungle. He's carrying the gem, by the way, for EG. It's so frustrating when the other team gets their gem up and you just can't keep those wards. You're the support hero and you've been, strapped for money all game. You're buying the wards and you're risking your life to go out there and place them, and then they just are like, oh, it's a ward. Oh, let's kill that. It's so annoying. They're just farming their jungle. God, well the creeps and these Sven illusions just push this. It's insane. Wisp and Sven are just hanging out in the meantime.
They want to see a hero.
They do want to see a hero. If they can catch somebody out of position, and take someone out, that could be time for the
Oh,
push.
it looks like there's a bit of an engagement at the top.
No, that's not engagement. That's just those illusions.
Right, but I meant in terms of EG wandering out there. Or, sorry, Fnatic wandering out there.
Going out a little too far, you think? We have very offensive wards, by the way. Going to be catching whatever's going on in the base. And Shadow Demon is sort of alone. We are going to see the push happening bottom and top. Sven and Wisp top, and the rest of the team bottom. Oh, they're going to back off as I think they're going to chase off Sven and Wisp.
And of course, the real danger here is that they can
up.
start that push at the top, and then as soon as heroes come out to meet them, they port down to the bottom.
There is that 2-second delay for the teleport.
There's the disruption and the...
Oh, here we go.
Sven's illusions are chopping him.
Wisp is going to port him down here. And Wisp was going to be forced to go back up there, and it's not a pretty place to go. But if they can push this tower, then Fnatic's going to have
It'd
to
be really
respond
good for
by coming
Lina to
here.
catch Wisp over there.
And Wisp will go back alone, but Fnatic, meanwhile, needs to respond to this.
Oh, and the
Tidehunter
Ravage
ult.
comes up.
Tidehunter way out of position, but Beastmaster's in a bit with a roar.
Lina catches him with Laguna Blade, but Fear is behind the line, and he's just going to chop. I think he's running after Lina, but there's the black hole! Finally, a good black hole that we've been seeing!
And Sven caught. Wisp is
Sven caught,
here.
and there's the Aegis,
There's the Aegis.
and now
Wisp waiting to
Shockwave
split
from
him.
Magnus. Gyro's going to chase him down.
He does have BKB up, so
He has the
should be
BKB,
okay.
and he's running. Now the entire Fnatic team is after
Wisp
him, but
coming
Wisp
in.
porting in. Is
Oh,
Wisp going to be
no.
enough?
Wisp
Gyrocopter's
is
going to
screwed
cast
at this
Wisp.
point.
And now Magnus Enigma finished them off. That HP removal field
This
is a
could
big
be a
deal.
wipe.
Now is Wisp going to get away? There's a homing missile. There's the Shockwave. I
can't
don't
get
think so. I
away.
think
He
as soon as the
can't get
homing
away.
missile hits him, I think he's smoked.
He's done.
Great
Team
fight
wipe.
by Fnatic.
And now-
that, ladies and gentlemen, I think is part of the power of Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon
Demons.
plus the
OP.
good black hole. I mean, I don't know what I've been missing this game, but all of a sudden seeing Trixie nail the black hole tells me, man, where has that black hole been all this game?
Well, part of the problem is you need to just catch them out of position in order to get them
And now
off. And that's
40
hard to do.
seconds, 40 seconds without the real fearsome duo of Sven and Wisp. And Fnatic says, we are pushing this for all it's worth.
Sven does have buyback, I will note.
He does have buyback, and it's questionable, but I don't think Wisp does, and I'm not sure he's going to jump in there by himself.
His team is up. Here we go with the tombstone.
Oh, and there's the buyback, and
Tidehunter
buyback from
jumping
Wisp.
in.
Wisp did have buyback.
Yep, here we are.
Here's the roar.
They're coming back for this. Oh my god.
They want to catch Gyro. I think they want to catch Gyro. Gyro's the big prize here.
Wisp
And there's
gathering
Wisp overpowering
Tidehunter.
Tidehunter
It's
with
just for the
a
stun.
smash, and they've isolated
They've got
Gyro. Gyro's
Gyro.
out, but Gyro has buyback too. So I think if EG
it
turns
comes to
this
that,
into a
he
push, a
can
counter
buy back.
push, he'll buy back. I think he's gonna wait because, of course,
Look at this.
Full
Sven
green
has
in the bank.
still got 5,000 gold.
that's after buyback too.
After
and
buyback.
Wisp the
Oh,
port. They're gonna
shit.
chase down
They are gonna
Enigma.
get
They don't want to
Enigma
see another
here.
black hole, and I don't think
I
they're
don't
going
think they
to.
have time
There's
to,
the stun, the BKB. The BKB
will
protects him
block
from
the
the stun,
stun,
and then there's the
but,
town port, but it's not fast enough.
So much
And they've
damage.
caught Enigma.
Honestly, I didn't think they were going to have time with the Wisp teleport only lasting 12 seconds and Enigma with his BKB running the other way, but
And now
apparently...
EG is charging back.
Oh my god, this is such a thrilling game, Blatant.
Unfortunately, Enigma doesn't have enough money to buy back. Gyrocopter can, but they really need that black hole, I think. EG's now just going to chop through the mid-barracks.
Oh, here we
This
go, Magnus with the
Gyrocopter Magnus
reverse
has got
polarity.
some big balls, but there's the Ravage,
Oh, God.
and he's going to get caught. And Gyrocopter's
Oh, my
in,
God.
but Gyrocopter just
He
can't
does
do
take out
enough damage to
Shadow...
enough people.
Or Shadow Demon went down, I should say.
But Wisp and Sven, really the problem. They can't... I really thinking Lina needs to Laguna Blade that Wisp, stun him.
Get rid of him
Stop
somehow.
focusing on Sven. Sven is Gyrocopter's problem. Wisp being just allowed to sit there and make Sven a beast, that really has to stop.
And look at him, he is a beast.
Wisp
Here we
is
have
squishy.
Lina
There we go.
trying
There's
for
a
the
stun at the
there.
right spot, and then there's a Dragon Slave at the right spot, but
It doesn't even touch
Homing
Sven.
missile.
It doesn't even touch Sven.
I don't know why they're targeting things at Sven. They need to kill Wisp and then finish off Sven.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
And
They're gonna back off.
well,
Wow. I mean, they did take...
Enigma's
their
back, and
backside.
that black hole really gives Gyrocopter a chance to eat through people, I think, is the
Is
real
that
concern.
back up? Yeah, it is. It's back up. So, that would be very bad.
Yeah, it also allows Gyrocopter to do call down.
What a game. Look at this. Mid towers down on both sides.
Fear
of course,
continuing to swarm. Let's take a look at the gold standings.
Oh yeah, let's look at the goal. Do you want to see net worth?
Net worth, you see Sven again climbing out of there. And then for the teams, I think you're going to see Dire with quite an advantage here.
Oh yeah, look at this. It has just swung that way. And that team fight there where they wiped, getting them back towards parity, but that...
I think as soon as the buyback happened, they should have turned around and ran like rabbits.
And the XP
they just hung around a little bit too long.
Direction. EXP has been on EG's side for quite a while. Gold has sort of swung a bit more, I think, but at this point...
and now this is the fear of Wisp. Wisp, Sven, is that double damage on Sven?
Oh, is Roshan almost back?
It is, and they're waiting for it. Oh, everybody is waiting for it. And here's the
smoke,
smoke,
by the way.
Fnatic, not knowing that EG is just sitting in their base, they're kind of wandering around saying, come on, EG, you guys have to be somewhere. We want to kill.
Yeah, they need a kill. They need a kill at this point. And their base, by the way, is getting pushed by the creeps. So they are wasting their time if they can't make anything happen here.
And I think EG knows that. EG says, look, we're just going to let them. We know that they're going to be looking, trying to pick us off. We'll just sit in the base and let the creeps do our work. And the creeps are doing their work.
The other thing is, if they can find out that all of Fnatic is here, Wisp and Sven can port in and get some serious hits in their base before they're able to get back and respond to that. So, and I'm wondering if JO's looking around for that opportunity right now. That's what I would do. I'd backdoor their base, Blatant, if I was a Wisp with a carry like Sven, able to do that much DPS to those structures. They're just waiting around the Roshan pit. Roshan back up now. Enigma's going to try to keep an eye on that. I think we're going to see a...
I think it would be a huge mistake for Fnatic to dive at Roshan right now.
Oh, they can't. They can't. And meanwhile, their base, look at this, is just getting pushed. I think they've made a huge mistake by just wandering around, leaving their base unguarded. Because honestly, the creeps are finishing this game right now. And I guess they're going to send Magnus back to deal with that. Ghost Scepter on Magnus, by the way, that does keep Sven's right clicks from hurting him, which pretty necessary at this point, I would say. Meanwhile, EG is just farming their jungle. They don't care. Monkey King Bar now and Sven, they saw that butterfly and gyrocopter, and that evasion means nothing now. I mean, he can evade Wisp's right clicks and Undying's right clicks.
Notice Sven's damage, 153 plus 293. That's, you know, just around 450 damage before he turns on his ulti.
Yeah, he's got crits too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so,
just a little bit of extra.
It'll only be, you know, like, let's see, 300. It'll be 600 plus crits.
Speaking of how much damage Sven is doing, where's Gyrocopter? Here he is. Let's take a little look at him.
He just doesn't look as impressive.
Yep, Sven is out-carrying Gyro. As expected, I think. And I think they're going to go for Roshan now. Not really that much I think that Fnatic can do about this.
I don't know if I agree with that, Feeder. I think if they had the positioning and they saw that it was happening, which I don't think they can, there's a lot they can do about it. But Tidehunter sitting there with a Blink Dagger, basically ready to interrupt whatever happens by blinking in and rupturing.
Look at that attack speed.
Ravaging, excuse me.
And Beastmaster will pick up the Aegis
and
now,
of
and
course,
Wisp will take the cheese. Wisp with the cheese, by the way, is just
overpowered.
Insane.
Tether to somebody and instantly heal both of yourselves perfectly.
Yep. It's ridiculous. Cheese is a really good item on Wisp.
It's basically better than the Aegis.
Often, you know? He doesn't get that very often. At least not that I see. Yeah, Wisp, an Aegis on Wisp is useless because the entire team knows where you're coming back and they basically can just eat you. But cheese, on the other hand, well, now.
Now Sven basically has 3 lives.
Yep.
One from cheese. One from cheese because
he didn't get the Aegis.
J-O, yeah. Oh.
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster. Okay.
But he might as well have.
J-O has an extra life
I mean,
now.
Look how many hit points.
Yeah, J-O has an extra life to give Fear. He'll just tether and cheese and boom.
All better.
This is again adding to the urgency.
Look at these creep waves. Oh my god.
Adding to the urgency
here
of kill Wisp.
Are we going to see something here? Maybe not. I think Sven and Wisp are backing up, ready to port into this bottom push, which is going to happen any second, I think. They're getting ready for this. They want to end it. They're going to end it and get on to game 2. Wisp and Sven, by the way. Oh shit, Sven's getting disrupted.
There's the reverse polarity, the shockwave.
Oh my god!
The Dragon's like, boom, they've got Sven. Sven immediately buys
He'll
back.
buy right back.
But I think almost as important, they got Wisp. There's the call down. They're going to catch Shadow Demon. Undying starts heading for the hills. Is Gyrocopter going to chase him? I don't think so. Beastmaster again.
Oh no. Oh no, does this game get any better? Fnatic wants this back. Beastmaster and Wisp are both buying back, of course. But, they just spent their buyback, and that's
did Wisp eat the cheese? I'm curious about that.
I don't think he did.
I think he got caught with too much
He was
stun.
too stunned, and honestly, eating the cheese there probably wouldn't have been.
Well, with the tether, tether eat.
Well, yes, but
I think Sven could have turned that around.
He had to make sure he couldn't get stunned.
And now EG says, now that you guys have used your black holes, your call downs, your Laguna Blade, we're gonna run this again.
Yep. And maybe use our buybacks.
And notice that EG didn't use any of their ultis until right now, where Sven just did it.
There goes
boom,
Enigma.
Shadow Demon, boom, Enigma.
Lena
boom,
is gonna
Lena.
ghost
I think
after.
Lena smoked here. Oh no.
She ghosted, so Sven.
Boom! Could she get? She could.
Wisp ported back out to where he came from.
Okay.
They are gonna pull.
There's a skewer of Tidehunter, but Tidehunter anchor smashes.
He doesn't have the damage to do anything.
The Dire now have Mega Creeps, and I think they might just leave.
Yeah, this is GG.
GG, says Trixie.
Why are they smoking away?
GG.
What are they doing?
GG Weppy.
Do you know what they're doing here, Blatant? I'm a little confused. We're getting disconnects already.
We had a great rebuy strat and Jo was 20 short. I take it that buyback strategy was in fact making Fnatic burn all of their
Yep. Jo, you screwed it up,
all
man.
of their ultis.
It is game over though. We're getting disconnects. Creeps pour into the base here, and really excellent game. I felt like there's some good back and forth going on there.
Yep, but in the end, Sven plus Wisp, just there wasn't a combo to it. I'm going to say that I was a little disappointed by the tactical choices on Fnatic's part. I think too often they try to like focus magic damage into like a Sven who's BKB'd, or basically trying to pile onto Sven, and this sounds really weird, but I think they really needed to cut the two supports out.
And be able to then focus him better. Of course, given
Sven
the amount of time it might have taken to do that, Sven might have killed them in that time.
I think earlier in the game it was more manageable. Earlier, before it got out of control, I think Lena was able to handle Wisp, and probably Magnus would have been able to skewer Wisp off of Sven, and those things just didn't happen.
They did not, but they've got a second shot at this, which at least I'm going to go ahead and cast. I don't know about you.
We'll see whether I'm casting it or not.
We'll see whether you are, but I hope you all enjoyed this very exciting Fnatic.eu versus EG. Game 1, EG will have another chance to beat them, and if Fnatic wins, there will be a third game to determine the victor.
Indeed. Okay, and this has been the playoff stage of the Defense 3.
And this is Blatant.
This is Feeder Noob.
And hope you enjoyed it.
Subscribe if you like us.